Recently, the U.S. Department of Justice notified Donald Trump that his name appears within the investigative records connected to Jeffrey Epstein. The reaction online was instantaneous. On social media, millions of users skipped past the procedural nature of the notification, equating the mere mention of a name with a definitive declaration of criminal guilt. This reaction is tied to the man at the center of the files. Jeffrey Epstein was a financier who spent decades building a guarded network of global elites, positioning himself alongside presidents, billionaires, and some of the world's most influential figures. That network became the subject of intense scrutiny in 2019, following Epstein's arrest for sex trafficking minors. His subsequent death in a New York jail cell before he could stand trial left a vacuum of information filled by years of public suspicion. Legally, the distance between an association and a conviction is vast. While a name drop can trend globally in seconds, a court of law requires specific, admissible proof, a standard that remains the same regardless of the public certainty. Part of the confusion stems from the term the Epstein files. It suggests a single, organized master list of co-conspirators, but the reality is a massive, fragmented data dump. These records are actually a sprawling collection of disparate documents. They include flight logs, personal contact books, court transcripts, and thousands of pages of witness testimonies collected over multiple investigations. Because these documents cover decades of Epstein's social and professional life, names appear for many reasons. A person might be listed because they were a business contact, a potential witness, or simply one of many guests at a high-profile party. In a legal context, a name in a file documents an association or a moment in time. It proves that two people existed in the same orbit, but it does not serve as evidence of participation in a crime. This distinction applies directly to the records involving Donald Trump. During the 1990s and early 2000s, Trump and Epstein were documented moving in the same social circles, appearing together at various events. While their past association is a matter of public record, the two men reportedly had a significant falling out in the mid-2000s. Trump has since claimed he distanced himself from Epstein long before the criminal investigation began. Despite the volume of media reports, the public record remains clear. There is no judicial ruling, trial outcome, or official legal record convicting Donald Trump of involvement in Epstein's criminal activities. Much speculation is driven by the FBI and Justice Department keeping these records under seal. Federal agencies cite specific legal protections for this secrecy, like safeguarding victims' identities and ensuring ongoing legal processes aren't compromised by releasing raw data. This black box of evidence is designed to protect the integrity of the law and the privacy of those harmed. However, that same lack of transparency naturally leaves space for public theories to grow in the absence of full disclosure. When viral posts strip these names of their legal context, they create an environment where suspicion is treated as proof. This shift in public perception complicates the path to real justice, which relies on a much higher burden of evidence than a social media feed. The procedural hurdles and sealed records highlight the friction between the public's demand for transparency and the protocols of the American justice system. It reveals the difficulties federal agencies face when a case involves vast networks of high-profile individuals. When justice depends on evidence that stays classified to protect victims, it raises a difficult question. Can a system built on these layers of secrecy ever provide the public with a full sense of accountability regarding its most influential citizens? As more documents are inevitably unsealed by the courts, new names will likely surface. When they do, those headlines must be filtered through the same legal reality that separates social proximity from criminal action. True justice is found in concrete judicial evidence and the slow work of due process, not in the momentum of a trending topic. Whether the full truth of this network will ever be made public remains one of the era's most persistent questions.